Have you ever trusted someone so completely that the thought of them betraying you was simply unimaginable? That's exactly how Mark felt about his wife, Sarah. For 10 years, their life together was a picture-perfect story. They were college sweethearts who built a life filled with laughter, shared dreams, and a bond that seemed unbreakable. Mark adored Sarah. He loved the way her eyes lit up when she talked about her passion for gardening, the way she hummed off-key while cooking, and the unwavering support she gave him when he started his own business. To him, she was not just his wife. She was his rock, his best friend, his everything. He believed they had a connection that was rare, a love that would last a lifetime. He never once questioned her loyalty. Why would he? Their world was perfect, or so he thought. The first crack in his perfect world appeared subtly. It started with Sarah's late nights at work. She was a marketing executive, and her new project was demanding, she said. Mark, being the supportive husband he was, didn't think much of it. He'd have dinner waiting for her, listen to her talk about the stresses of the project, and tell her how proud he was of her dedication. Then came the constant texting. Sarah's phone, which used to be tossed aside when she was home, was now always in her hand, buzzing at all hours. When Mark would gently ask who she was texting so late, she'd just smile and say it was her work group chat, brainstorming new ideas. He believed her. He wanted to believe her. He loved her, and love means trust, right? But the cracks started to widen. She became distant, emotionally unavailable. Their conversations, once deep and meaningful, became shallow and brief. The easy laughter that once filled their home was replaced by a tense silence. Mark tried to bridge the gap. He planned date nights, suggested weekend getaways, and tried to talk to her about what was going on. Each time, she'd either have an excuse or she'd shut down, blaming her mood on work stress. Mark started to feel a growing unease, a cold knot of dread in his stomach that he couldn't shake. He felt like he was living with a stranger, a ghost of the woman he married. The intimacy they shared, both emotional and physical, had all but vanished. He felt incredibly alone in his own home. The breaking point came on their anniversary. Mark had planned a surprise dinner at the restaurant where he had proposed. He spent all day preparing, filled with a desperate hope that this gesture would reignite the spark they had lost. He waited and waited. Hours passed, and Sarah never showed up. His calls went straight to voicemail. His texts went unanswered. Around midnight, she finally walked in, looking disheveled and avoiding his eyes. She mumbled an apology about a work emergency, a last-minute deadline she couldn't miss. But as she spoke, Mark noticed something he hadn't seen before. A small, delicate necklace that he had never given her. His heart shattered into a million pieces. The lie was so clear, so painful. At that moment, he knew his world was not just cracked, it was completely broken. The truth came out in a flood of painful confessions. The late nights weren't for work. The constant texts weren't from colleagues. The necklace was a gift from another man. For over 6 months, Sarah had been living a double life. The betrayal was deeper and more calculated than he could have ever imagined. The person he had built his entire life around, the one he trusted with his whole heart, had deceived him in the most profound way. The pain was suffocating, a physical weight that made it hard to breathe. The man he was happy, trusting, secure died that night. He was left with the ruins of his marriage and the ghost of a love he thought was real. This wasn't just heartbreak. It was the complete destruction of his reality. He had to learn how to pick up the pieces of his life, a life he'd never expected to live alone. Thanks for watching. If you have a story to share, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.